Hello everyone, my name is Jaclyn. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. It has been a while. Yes, I cut my hair. Yes, it is blue again. I don't know what I want. I can't make up my mind. I like how short it is. I think it looks pretty cute. And it's just hair, it'll grow back, it's fine. But yeah, I feel like I'm going through a midlife crisis at 28. Is that normal? I don't know. It's been a while, and I'm excited to record and do this video for you guys today. So, today's video is going to be how to apply eyeshadow with hooded eyes. This is beginner friendly. So yeah, let's just jump into it and start. Whether you have hooded eyes or not, you're going to want to prime your lids with either a eyeshadow primer or a concealer. I specifically love to use concealer. That's just how I like to prime my lids. You can use whatever you want. The concealer that I'm using right now, this is the Covergirl trublend concealer. I am super shaky and nervous right now. I don't know why. I'm like really kind of antsy. So if I'm awkward and weird, I apologize. I'm using this to prime my lids with quick. Just put a little bit on. And this is going to help the eyeshadow adhere to your lid better. So you can use your fingers like I am. You can use a brush or a sponge, it doesn't matter, whatever you prefer. Just as long as you have a good sticky base. Okay. So then next, now that that's all blended out, I like to set it with a little bit of powder. You want to have a sticky base, but you don't want it to be too sticky. If it's too sticky, it's going to be harder to blend out and you're going to get harsh lines. You don't want that. You want nice blended seamless lines. This is the Covergirl Trublend Minerals Loose Setting Powder. This is in translucent. And I like to take just a little bit of powder, and I'll show you what I mean. So you want to set it with a teeny tiny bit of powder. You don't want to set with too much. If you set with too much powder, the eyeshadow is going to slide right off. It's not going to stick. So what I do is just dip the brush in there. And if you have that much powder, that's a lot. It's way too much. Tap that baby. Tap it, tap it, tap it. To the point pretty much there's like nothing left on there. At least it looks like there's nothing left on there. But trust me, there is. So you're just going to dab just a little bit of that powder over your lids, just to set a little bit. So now your eyes are ready. They're nice and set and ready. As I go through this and showing you the steps for how I apply anyways for hooded eyes, I'm going to be showing you the brushes that I'm using as well. So hopefully you'll get a good idea of what brush you can use in your crease and to help blend. Obviously you don't have to use the products that I have, just use whatever you have. That's fine, but hopefully this will help. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using, this is not my very first eyeshadow palette. It was maybe my second or third eyeshadow palette. But I always come back to this because it's such a good eyeshadow palette and it's very affordable. This is by Milani. This is their most loved matte eyeshadow palette. And obviously it's all mattes, but it's a lot of neutral shades. And this is a perfect palette for someone who is just starting out. We are going to start with a transition shade. A transition shade is a shade that is going to transition you into a darker shade. So this will definitely help when it comes to blending your shadows out. So we're going to start with this shade here. It's very light. This is called Your Peach. The brush that I'm going to be using with that shade is this brush here. This is the JH33. This is the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe brushes. I'm going to be using this one first. Compared to this brush here, this one is the JH36. So this is a good blending brush. It's nice, round, fluffy, it's big all the way around to really help blend everything together. Whereas this one, it's flat near the face of the brush. I'm going to take this brush here and I'm going to get kind of not exactly the tip and not exactly the full face. It's kind of like a good even amount between the tip and the face of the brush. I'm going to tap it off. And with hooded eyes, so when I'm relaxed, just like this, I have a lot of extra skin here that's just hanging there, and that's what hooded eyes are. It's just a lot of extra skin. So right here, where you think your crease is, that's not actually your crease. With hooded eyes, you need to create a crease. If you feel where your brow bone is, which mine is right here, there's my brow bone, you're gonna create the crease right there. So I like to lift my brows just so I can really get in there. If you were to apply eyeshadow right here where you think your crease is with hooded eyes, and you relax, you're not gonna see that shadow at all. It's gonna completely disappear, and you don't want that. You want to be able to see your eyeshadow because you worked very, very hard on it. So we're gonna lift the brows, feel where your brow bone is, and you're gonna create your crease there. So we're gonna start here in the center, right on our brow bone. And what I like to do is, for my hooded eyes, for my eye shape, to kind of follow at the end here and bring it out a little bit for the outer portion. And then for the inner portion, I do not like to follow the natural curve of my eye. What I like to do is blend it straight in. Instead of following that curve, just blend straight in to the inner portion. So hopefully now you can kind of get like a good idea. I'm relaxed now. I'm not lifting my brows. I'm relaxing my brows. And you can still see that shadow. If I were to apply it here, it would be gone. See what I'm saying? You get it. You get it. I'm going to take a little bit more of that shade and just kind of build this up a little bit more. So I'm going to use the same brush, and we're going to go in with a little bit of a darker shade. So I'm going to take this shade here. We just used this shade. Now I'm going to go in with this one. This one's called Toast of the Town, right? Yes, this one's called Toast of the Town. And I'm going to take it on that same brush, tap it off, and we're going to go right on top of that other shade that we just placed down. And since we started with that other shade as our transition shade, this will help this shade, Toast of the Town, blend out a little bit better. So keeping it out this way, and in the inner corner, keeping it straight. So now that we have both of those shades placed down, we do have a harsh line right here. We don't want that harsh line, so we're going to help blend that out. So now I'm going to go in with that blending brush that I showed in the beginning. This is the JH36, and I'm going to take that first shade we used right here, your peach, and I'm going to get it on the very tip of the brush. Tap it off. And we're gonna go right here and help blend out that harsh line. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a different brush. This is the JH50, and it kind of looks almost similar to this one, except it's not as rounded. It's definitely a little bit more flat and squared. I'm going to go in with the shade here that we used before. And right on the face of the brush, just like that, and tap it off. We're going to lift our brow And we're going to keep this on the outer portion of our eye. We're not going to bring this to the inner corner. Going back in with the blending brush, nothing on it. I'm not going to put anything on it. I'm just going to help blend that out together. Blend the top and then the bottom. With hooded eyes, it definitely helps to keep everything coming out this way. This way it'll help your eyes be more open and awake rather than droopy. I'm gonna take a flat brush, just like this. It's very thin, sleek. It's not super thin, but it's good enough. And I'm gonna take this shade right here. This is called Fancy Vanilla. And I'm gonna get it right on the face of the brush. Tap it off. And I'm gonna put it right here on the inner portion. And I'm gonna blend it in with that brown shade. And again, going back in with that blending brush. And just help blend everything together. It looks pretty. It's very subtle, but still kind of elegant. It's nice. I like it. So I'm going to do the other side and I'll be right back. So the other eye is done. And we can move on to our lower lash line. When it comes to the lower lash line, you don't want to use big fluffy brushes like I just used for the top ones. You're going to smoke it out too much. You don't want that, especially if you have hooded eyes. It's going to make your eyes look more closed and more harsh. You want it to look wide open awake. For the lower lash line, you're going to want to use smaller brushes. Smudger brushes are good. This one here is by Beaute. This is very teeny tiny. This is a smudger brush, and this will help really get as close to your lash line as possible. The next brush that I have here, this is the smudger brush, shading brush. This is a shading brush by Real Techniques. It's a lot bigger than the smudger brush, but it's still kind of the same gist. And then I have this one here. This is a very small detailed brush. This is by Morphe. I'm going to take the smudger brush, and I'm going to take this shade here, just like we use at the top. And when it comes to the lower lash line, you don't want to bring the darker shades all the way into your inner corner. You're going to want to keep them more on the outer part of your lower lash line. You want to keep brighter colors on the inner portion and the darker colors on the outer portion. I'm going to take a little bit of that shade, and I'm going to get as close to my lash line as I can. And we're just going to wiggle back and forth. And I'm going to come about halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way on my lower lash line here. But I'm not going to bring it all the way into the inner portion. I'm going to keep it all out right here. And then to soften it up just a little bit so it's not as harsh, I'm going to go in with the shading brush by Real Techniques and take that shade we use at the top. And I'm going to get on the very tip of the brush. And I'm going to help blend that out a little bit so it's not as harsh. Again, keeping this as close to your lash line as you can because you don't want to smoke this out. I'm going to show you on the other side how you can use the little detailed brush. So again, I'm going to take the smudger brush and get on the very tip and keep it as close to my lash line as I can. And I'm going to take the small detailed brush and I'm going to take this shade here, get on the very tip of the brush, tap it off, and just help blend out that shade so it's not so harsh. And it's small enough that you can still get in there and it's not going to blow it out too much. Then for the inner portion of your eye, I'm just going to take the smudger brush again by Beaute. I'm just going to clean it off. And we're going to take this shade here that we use on the inner portion of our eye and get it on the tip. And we're going to put that on this part, inner portion of our eye that doesn't have any shadow on it. And we're going to blend that into the brown. This will help keep the inner part of our eyes look open and awake. I'm going to apply some mascara and put some false lashes on it, and I'll be right back. So false lashes and mascara are on, and this is it. This is the completed look. If you are just starting out with makeup and you would like to know how to apply false lashes, I will link my video up here. I did a video on all the tips and tricks that you need to know on how to apply false lashes. So if you would like to see that, go check it out. I don't know why I said it like that. It's late. It's super late. I think it's like almost midnight, and I want to record one more video before I go to bed. So, but yes, this is it. This is the finished look. This is how the eyes look. I really like how this came out, and it's simple, easy. It literally was just 3 eyeshadows that I used, and yeah, that's how you apply eyeshadow for hooded eyes. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. For those of you gals out there that do have hooded eyes like me, even if you don't have hooded eyes, you can still use the same tips and tricks. But yes, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you will give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below so you can be part of my family and my channel here. I would really, really appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Jaclyn. Don't be nervous. Stop being nervous. Ugh. Okay. Going back in with the why did I say like that?